You just saw me remodel the main bedroom by removing a wall and adding barn doors. Check out the link to that video in the upper right. Now I'm going a step further to replace the main bathroom sink. The footprint of this sink leaves very little counter space, and I am ready for an upgraded look. Let me show you how I did it for just 80 bucks. Would you ever install a kitchen faucet in the bathroom? I stumbled across the idea because I installed a vessel sink in my guest bathroom, and to save money, I used a leftover kitchen faucet. I thought it might be too big, too bulky, but it turns out to look great, is perfectly sized for my vessel sink, and what I have grown to love is the pull-out sprayer, which makes cleaning the basin so easy, gets rid of toothpaste, shaving cream, and other stuff that loves to stick to the edges of your sink. I loved it so much in the guest bathroom that I'm doing the same in the main bathroom. We're at the rebuilding center, plumbing section. Looking for a new vessel sink that's maybe not as big as a footprint. And look at this, we found this one right here for $25. All right, first the easy stuff. Let's disconnect the old sink and then remove the countertop. Redoing the countertop was pretty easy. My second purchase was $15 for a 2x4 piece of particle board, and I used my favorite Formica that I had left over from my kitchen remodel. I knew it would look great in the bathroom. The Formica is called oiled soapstone, by the way. I'm choosing to install the countertop first. Some people advise you that installing the sink and the faucet into the countertop and then installing all of them as a unit onto the sink cabinet makes for an easier install. And that's often true, but in this case I wanted to see where I wanted to place the sink, the faucet, and the soap dispenser by visualizing it before cutting into the countertop, just to make sure everything is placed exactly where I want it to be and there's no obstructions. I've marked where I want to cut the countertop on the surface of blue painter's tape, which is of course taped to the top of the counter. The tape will help make sure the Formica doesn't chip or crack when using a circular saw and a jigsaw to cut the opening. The cardboard barrier behind is so that sawdust doesn't get onto any caulk that is still drying. Looks like I nailed the measurements and placement. You'll see that the sink is slightly off center to provide more counter space on the right side of the sink. I am right-handed, so because I am right-handed, I decided to put the faucet and the soap dispenser on the right side of the sink. Here I am unboxing my new faucet. I purchased this from a national, well-known online retailer that makes home deliveries, and the cost was about $35. I made sure that the faucet had the correct finish and the proper dimensions. This one happened to come with a matching soap dispenser. After I spotted where I wanted the faucet and soap dispenser to go, I used a hole saw to cut the appropriate sized openings, being sure again to tape off the surrounding area to prevent chipping and cracking the Formica surface. Okay, we're getting to the end now. Install the faucet according to the manufacturer's instructions and make the necessary connections to the water supply valves. Whenever I do a plumbing project, I know there's going to be 5 trips to the hardware store, at least. And yep, I needed exactly 5 trips to get the parts I needed to make the final connections and make them leak-proof. See if you can do it in fewer trips. Girl. Okay, we're going to have a look inside the new bathroom. Look at this. Oh, this turned out so great. All right, first I'm going to look underneath in the sink cabinet where all the water connections were made. So I have a hot water tank here, of course hot and cold, and then drain. And I keep a work light here. I'm just going to keep it in here for a few days to make sure everything is staying bone dry before I put anything back in here. That's why I have this work light in here. All right, let's have a look up here and give you a little tour. All right, so up here, I love this faucet. I love it. So turn it on. It gets this waterfall effect. This is a kitchen faucet.
But the reason why I love a kitchen faucet in the bathroom is because, okay, I'm gonna start turning this, and it turns into a stream, right? And then when you want to clean out the basin, all you do is just do this. Look at that. Toothpaste, shaving cream, whatever, down the drain, put it back, and then you turn it back like this, and it's just high enough. I should say it's just low enough that you can open this up and it goes right over the top. Check that out. You'd think I measured it just right. All right, everybody. We're gonna call this another successful project. Stay tuned to my channel by subscribing, and when I have content come out in the future, you'll be notified about money-saving projects like this. Seriously, it only cost me 80 bucks. See you next time.